What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you guys have started 2021 off on the right foot. And honestly, I think we can all agree that Black Ops Cold War needs to start 2021 off on the right foot if it's going to see any success throughout the year of 2021. With that being said, it is very clear this game needs a weapon tuning update, because right now, in my opinion at least, there's 3 weapon classes that are just absolutely ravaging this game and realistically making the game a lot less fun. Now, in my last video I talked about the game being good, and it is. But when you have 3 weapon classes that kind of just absolutely destroy the weapon balance throughout the game, it becomes tiring really quickly. Now, back in Black Ops 4, I had the same issue. I had the same issue with one weapon class just being above the rest and just really ruining my fun for the game. And that weapon class, of course, was the LMGs. And again, in this game, they are extremely overpowered. Now, I'm not about trying to completely nerf them into the ground so they're completely useless, but my goodness, are the LMGs in this game absolutely broken. Whether it's the Stoner, the M60, or the RPD, they are all equally overpowered and they all need a weapon tune immediately. So not only am I going to identify the problem, I'm also going to talk about the solution to this problem. What need to be done to the LMGs to make them at least fair, at least on par with an AR or an SMG. First and foremost, I am fine with their aim down sight time. I think it is slow, and I think that is very important for an LMG. I'm totally fine with an LMG sitting on a head glitch and shooting off that head glitch. I have no issues with that whatsoever. That's the way an LMG should be played. However, the hip-fire spread needs to be increased no matter what. You put a laser sight on one of these LMGs, it has a better hip-fire registration and bullet land percentage than any other AR or SMG. That's not tested by means, but like, honestly, whenever I pick one up, I'm like, oh my god, this thing does not need to be aimed down sight at all. The hip-fire is unbelievable on them, and when you compare that to an SMG like a AK-74U or a Bulldog or whatever it is, it's pretty frustrating. Anyways, so I'd like to see that increased. I'd like to see the recoil increased. Not like immensely to the point where these guns are unusable, but at least somewhat more than absolutely nothing at all. These guns have absolutely zero recoil. And I get it, if you're aiming down sights, right, most LMGs are gonna sit pretty still in reality. But this is a video game. You have to balance the gun somehow. I know they're not going to be viable in competitive play because they're always banned, because they're always overpowered. But could we add a little bit of recoil, please? That would be really, really, really huge in this game. The other thing I'd like to see as well is bullet damage drop-off happen sooner. It feels like these things will mow you down in 3 or 4 bullets from basically any range whatsoever, and that is just not competitive compared to the ARs, the SMGs. Sure, you're more mobile with an AR or an SMG, but the LMG just will roast you in any one-on-one gunfight, and I don't really like that, especially considering you have to battle way more recoil with an AR or SMG versus an LMG. So they need to be tuned a little bit. So I want to hear your comments down below. What do you guys think of the LMG? Do you think it needs to be tuned, and what would you do it? So to recap, hipfire spread to be increased, as well as recoil to be increased, and bullet damage drop-off to happen sooner. I'm totally fine with these guns being absolute machines close range, because you have to be able to be competitive against AK or ARs and SMGs somehow whatsoever. So I'm fine with it, but bullet damage drop off needs to happen sooner. It's just as simple as that. The next class of weapon has to be the tac rifle. Right now, the AUG and M16 have been nerfed twice. They need to be nerfed again. It is absolutely asinine that these weapons are still as powerful as they are in this game. I don't understand the reason behind it, but holy smokes, 1 burst every single time. Like, yeah, sometimes you get 2 bursted, but even then, those bursts happen so quickly, there's no way you're even going to be able to win a gunfight against them. They are still extremely overpowered weapons. I still refuse to use them because of how overpowered they are. Now, a way to fix this would obviously be increasing bullet damage drop-off. You know, make the bullet damage happen sooner from range. The other thing, increased hipfire spread, and another thing that would be great is to reduce damage. Now, not greatly reduce damage to the point where you literally cannot get a 1 burst, but to a point where you have to basically have 2 of 3 shots hit the head. And if 2 of 3 shots hit the head, yeah, it's going to be 1 burst. And I'm fine with that. But that's the only time it should ever happen. Right now, the time to kill with the other weapons is just far too high compared to the burst fire weapons that it just really isn't fair. So I just like to see hip fire spread increased, and that bullet damage drop off happens sooner, along with less damage. So basically a one burst only happens when you hit somebody in the head. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's fair for the burst rifles, or do you think that's nerfing them too much? Let me know in the comment down below. Next, of course, is the tac rifle single shot weapons, which, my god, are these frustrating to play against, because they're basically a 2 to 3 shot anywhere. They have no recoil, and yeah, they're really easy to use, like extremely easy to use. And on top of that, their hip fire seems to be broken. Like every other weapon I'm going to talk about in this video, for whatever reason, the hip fire is so much better than anything the AR or the SMG class has, and that just makes no sense to me. So first and foremost, hip fire needs to be increased. I'd like to see a slight increase in recoil, but on top of that, I'd like to see a huge damage nerf. A huge damage nerf. Whatever it takes to nerf these things into the ground, I'm fine with. This is the only weapon that I cannot stand in Call of Duty, and it should be a 3 to 4 bullet kill every single time. Instead, it's 2 to 3 right now, which is completely and utterly broken, and that is a huge problem, especially because these guns have no recoil, and they're extremely easy to use, and it doesn't take much to level them up. Now, if you use these guns in zombies, they're pretty horrific, but in multiplayer, they are extremely powerful, and we need to see something done to them ASAP. So bullet damage drop off, hip fire spread, some more increased recoil, and a reduced damage. That needs to happen to these guns. Again, what do you guys think? Comment below, let me know. Lastly, this is pertaining to the entire pistol class. It's not that the pistols are overpowered, it's when they become dual wielded. These things are better than shotguns. These things are better than SMGs at close range. Holy fuck, how did we get to the point where it's just a 2 bullet kill with dual pistols? My god, what are you doing, Treyarch? My god, why was this ever a decision? I wonder, when they make a decision like this, if their devs ever play the freaking game, or if their devs the entire time are running around with AUG and dual pistols. That's what I wonder. Do they only use the weapons that are overpowered, and they're like, I see no problems, I see nothing, no problems whatsoever. That's a huge issue. This is the biggest thing that needs to change. Damage needs to be reduced, 100%. Definitely the bullet spread needs to be decreased, because even if they're not that accurate, even with laser sight, they're not like the most accurate thing, but they just melt. So really, just damage drop off. Just make them weaker. That's all that needs to be done. Make them at least a 2-shot kill. Make them, I don't know, but holy crap, do these need to be nerfed into the ground yesterday. So to recap, LMGs need a nerf. Tac rifles need a nerf, and pistols, when they are dual wielded, need a nerf. I am fine with everything else. The ARs and SMGs, for the most part, are pretty solid, right? I would like to see maybe a bit of a buff for the QBZ, maybe a bit of a buff for the Bullfrog, maybe even a bit of a buff for the Milano. I could live with a Mac 10 nerf a little bit for up close damage, because that thing just absolutely melts people. But realistically, I think the ARs and the SMGs are really, really, really well balanced. The M82, I think, sniper rifle is the only one I really would like to see nerfed, and the only reason for that is the only thing I truly want for it is to have it play more like a Barrett 50 cal from COD 4, where when you shoot it, it'll recoil upwards, so you can't like spam it all the time. And right now, it's a little bit spammable, but realistically, I think the snipers in this game are fine. They're not driving me away from playing the game. If I get into a lobby full of snipers, I'm just gonna leave, because I don't find playing snipers a lot of fun. So that's about it. I want to know what you guys would do if you guys were going to do some weapon tuning to this game. Let me know in the comment below. Obviously, let me know what you think of the 3 weapon classes I brought up, as I mentioned earlier on in the video. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next time.